And a very warm welcome back at the Valley, where on Saturday, Charlton Athletic will be hosting the world champions in one of the most historic cup competitions around. It will be an absolutely packed Valley for sure, with the likes of Cole Palmer, Reece James, Enzo Fernandez, and some other superstars as well, as they all come to town. So a packed Valley on Saturday, and we've got a packed show coming up right now. We'll preview this weekend's massive fixture. We'll speak to former Chelsea captain and current Charlton board member Paul Elliot. We'll hear from Gavin Carter on his first year as Charlton chairman. And we'll also celebrate Nathan Jones's first 100 games in charge of the Addicts. It's going to be a packed show indeed, and it's a packed studio alongside the likes of Stevie Brownie, Kevin Lisbie and Sir Alan Curbishley as well. How are we, chaps? All right? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. What point do we stop saying Happy New Year? Do you ever say Happy New Year and Merry Christmas?
Long stopped all that nonsense, Scotty.
It's great they put their Christmas jumpers on, isn't it?
What was that, 10 seconds?
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it? Didn't take long.
I don't want to say anything, right? But there's a stain on that jumper.
There is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Tom pointed it out. Mrs. Brown not doing her job.
Tom Rubishaw pointed that out, and he said, whatever you do, don't mention it, Scott.
Yeah,
They
look.
definitely don't zoom in.
Oh, look, isn't that awkward doing it backwards?
Maybe that's a style. I don't know.
Horrible. That's lunch.
Anyway, good Christmas.
Yeah, lunch. Well, yeah, clearly. Gravy stain.
So, Curbs, how much are you looking forward to Saturday? It's going to be...
Yeah, I've got mixed views on it a little bit because I think when you're perhaps a championship club or not in the Premier League, you look at the gate, don't you? You think, oh, we can earn some money out of this and perhaps make enough money to bring a signing in. But I just looked in at Chelsea and what's happened there. New manager, etc., etc. It could be a really difficult game for us because I think the new manager going in will definitely pick his strongest side, whereas perhaps Maresco, if he was still in charge, might have rested one or two or even more than that to give other people a game. But I think the new manager will play his strongest team.
Well, we'll come on to Liam Rosenior in a little bit. He actually won't be officially in charge until the weekend, so Callum McFarlane will be picking it. But, I mean, Liz, what a classic fixture it is in terms of under the lights, the world champions being here at the Valley.
Yeah, I think there's enough things in there to associate for it to be a good game, and I think it's one of those games that we probably would have wanted Chelsea at home. I don't think we would have wanted them away. I don't think we'd want Man United away. I think we're more than happy of getting them at home. But I think, as Curb said, timing might be a little bit off. But I think it'll be a great day for the club, and hopefully we can get something out of it.
Yeah, and of course it quite possibly would be the highest attended FA Cup game at the Valley in 50 years, which is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that is incredible, actually. I wasn't aware of that statistic. But yeah, I think when you look at the draw, you are looking always, aren't you, for a Premier League club at home, and we've picked one of the biggest ones. It's a London derby as well. So I think we couldn't have asked for much better than what we've got, and now it's down to us to fill it. And I think we will. I think it'll be a very big crowd on Saturday. So I'm not happy with the kick-off time, got to say.
Why?
8.
Go on.
Randy's not happy.
What's that?
Randy's not happy.
2026 shock.
And it used to be quite cold for you standing up here.
Well, that's what I mean.
So it's not
Wanna
that
go to bed?
you've only got an hour left in the pub afterwards?
No, trains home and all that. Oh dear. 8 o'clock's a bad time.
Is that his New Year's resolution? He's just going to moan as much as last year.
It's moan even more.
I've got to get at least 4 in this next hour, otherwise I'm behind schedule.
Look, we do have loads to talk about, and let's touch on Chelsea as well. And Curbs, I want to start with you because no better place than the dugout. We've touched already that Maresca's gone. Lima Rosenior is going to be coming in, even though he's not going to be in charge of the Wednesday's game. We're speaking at the moment on Tuesday, but he will be in charge for this particular game. So apologies, yes, he will be in charge for the game against Charlton. Europa Conference League winners, Club World Cup winners, manager of the month in November, and now he's gone. I mean, is this the crazy world? Do you miss it? Would you like to be a manager now?
I think we've seen 2 managers go, Chelsea manager and the Man United manager, both basically criticising the owners and the board or whatever you want to do, and swiftly removed. But I think with Chelsea, it's an interesting one because they own the club where Rosenior's come from, So in some ways, that could be a little bit of a stopgap while they reassess and perhaps go out and look for someone else. Or they're saying, hold on, let's give him a chance because he's done ever so well at Strasbourg, and let's see what we've got. So in that respect, normally when a manager's sacked, clubs have got someone lined up, but there don't seem to be anybody out there at the moment. So they've took the next route, someone they know. Now, is it a long term, short term? I think it don't really matter. I think he comes in, and as I said earlier, the staff around him will advise him. But he'll go with the strongest team. He will not want to get beat here.
Yeah. 2 questions to that. One, he signed a 6-year contract. So does that mean that's my question? Does that mean anything? And you didn't answer the question. Would you like to be a manager now?
Yeah, I would actually. And especially with the long throw coming back and things like that. That's really upsetting everybody, isn't it? No, the game's moved on, obviously, different ways, and you can fall asleep watching some of it. But never mind. I just think the thing has changed so much, and you're hearing the last two the Man United manager and the Chelsea manager talking about interference above, etc. Whereas obviously my era, we sort of managed everything, if you like, within reason. And that seems to have gone in the Premier League anyway. That seems to have gone now. And
it's a different type of owner as well, though, isn't it?
Different type of owner.
You do have to manage up even better now than...
Yeah, and you've got sporting directors and this and that, etc. you've got to deal with. So it is a more difficult job, I would have thought. But both managers, I think, complained about not getting support from upstairs and obviously wanted to perhaps bring certain players in and having it knocked back. So yeah, and so I thought both managers, once they criticised their board, were in a bit of trouble.
Your thoughts on Liam, Liz? Because Strasbourg are under Blue Co, which is the same company that owns Chelsea as well. So he was seen as the natural sort of successor in that sense. But is he ready for it?
Was it always the plan? You never know. There's a lot of coincidences happening in these moments, but I know him as a person, and he's a great coach, a great man. I know he had a bit of a hard time at Hull. I thought he'd done really well at Hull before he got sacked. But obviously he's gone where he's gone now, and he's proved that he's a good coach, and he's shown people that he's a great coach. And why not give an English player a chance at a big club to show what he's worth? I don't think at this present time they've got anything to lose because of the way the season's gone and the way things have gone.
Do you not think?
No.
Do you not think the pressure, if he doesn't start well?
It depends what the club's ambitions are, and I think they want someone who maybe is comfortable in a role they want him in, and I think he suits that at this present time.
What I was trying to say earlier is Sully went for that manager over there, and there was a big wrangle and compensation, and it didn't happen because the club ain't going to let him go. You move on another month, and So I think this could be a short-term, long-term thing, right? If you know what I mean. He's going to come in. He's really happy to take the job on, and if he does well, then obviously he'll keep it. But if he doesn't, it gets to the summer, and they can move on. I think Chelsea, because I think trying to entice a manager now from another club is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I know him personally as well. I worked with him at Sky for a good few years. A wonderful human being. I think he's a very good coach. He's an excellent communicator. He's emotionally intelligent. He'll speak the language of the young players, the players of today. I do worry slightly that if he doesn't hit the ground running, then the Chelsea fans will say, well, who is he? But I want to support him, and I hope everybody at Chelsea do. But in terms of this particular game, does it help or hinder our chances of winning this game with Liam coming in?
I wouldn't have thought it makes any difference to the quality they have throughout the squad in terms of the depth of it. I don't think it makes any difference. They've still got continuity behind the scenes, right? They haven't all gone. So they're very familiar with the players and the coaching staff. So I think they're coming to this game heavy favourites. But I mean, we talk about Liam Rosenior like he's only just started coaching. He started at Brighton years and years ago doing the 21s. He's earned his stripes, and I don't think there is a manager out there that won't be under pressure at Chelsea the minute he goes in. So it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be under pressure to get results pretty quickly. But in terms of Liam, he has earned his stripes. He's gone and done a championship level job. He's then gone abroad to further that career. Why not? You know, whoever you pick is going to be under pressure from the minute they walk into that job. But in terms of Saturday, it'll be his first look at the team. Well, first look with, you know, in terms of in the dressing room.
So you don't think he's been looking?
No, as in he
From
won't
afar.
be in the dugout. Yeah, he won't be in the dugout. No, I've been told he's been lined up for this job for a long time.
Yeah.
It's not something that's just happened overnight. He's been lined up some time ago. That when this guy moved on, Liam was coming in. So it's not something that's, you know, that's just happened overnight and they've picked him out. Oh yeah, look, he's done 6 months at Strasbourg. Let's get him in. He's been lined up for it specifically.
Do you need to coach that team as well? You look at, they go to Man City with an under 21s coach, and for me, I thought they performed really well, especially second half. So if you look at the players they've got and the squad they've got, you just got to manage the players, don't you?
Look, management in the modern player, the modern superstar player, World Cup winners, £100 million players. Clearly, you have to do that, but you still have to patterns of play and press with and without the ball. I think we'll wait and see, but I wish him all the best anyway. But enough about Chelsea. Can we talk about our approach as well? Curbs, how would you approach the game at the weekend?
I think Nathan's got to play his strongest team. There's no doubt about that. And even if he didn't want to, he's got to, because it's going to be a tough game. You don't want to be humiliated a little bit here, which I'm not sure that will happen actually, because I think the atmosphere and the fact that a new manager at Chelsea, etc., just makes it an even better game for us, I think. And, you know, the crowd, the atmosphere, as you've been saying, and the fact that I think it's been picked for live TV because they think there might be an upset. So, yeah, you know, I think that the Charlton fans, I think what has happened to us in recent weeks is a little bit, you know, a breather, if you like, and a can't lose situation, if you know what I mean. And if Chelsea come in and win, that's fine. But if we go and get the result, you know, that could be quite interesting.
Brown, if he was the manager right now and this game's coming up, you knocking on the door saying you better play me in this game, Curbs?
Well, no, because back in the Premier League days, he would have just gone, right, I'm changing all 11, you can have 90 minutes, and you know whatever the result, whatever the outcome, you're back out for the league game. So it was a bit of a wicked situation to be in, that one, when you know you're coming in for that one game and out again, but you had to deal with it, you know, and I guess there was the way of looking at it, you're lucky to be involved in anyway. So, yeah, I just think with these cup games, you're always hoping that the opposition come in with a little bit of complacency, and the change of manager probably takes that out of it. You know, so you were hoping they'd make 11 changes, and the 11 changes haven't played a lot of minutes, and they come into it a bit cold, you know, but I think that complacency element will be removed because of the change of manager. But yeah, you know, you live in hope. I think they still will make a lot of changes. I really do. But yeah, we're not in a great place ourselves, actually. We've picked up a couple of injuries again recently, and you know, we don't go into the best of forms, and I agree with Curbs. It is one of those games where you can take your mind off the league for a bit and just give this one everything, can't you? Because you're going to be massive underdogs.
I always think as well, when you're a smaller team playing a bigger team, especially at home, go at them first 10, 15, see where their mentality is, see if they're up for this, and if they're not, even if you can score the first goal, great. If you can't, then still you can be very much on the front foot, and it's difficult to turn it around. As a player, Liz, are you desperate to play in this type of game, and is it a great sort of almost escape for
Chelsea or Charlton? What are you doing?
Half and half back.
I don't even ref this game.
Sorry.
Just have
half
you
and half scarf. He'll be out the front again, won't he?
But you are. It's a glamour tie where, as Curbs is right, you know, it's almost like the pressure's off, isn't it? It's almost no lose.
I think it's one of I think it's one of those games. Even if you're in the team, you wouldn't want to come out for this game. I mean, you need about 15 tickets. For me, football's about playing against the best and being the best, and a game on TV against the best team in the world is a great way to see where you're at and see what they're about and what you can learn from them as well. The only hope is that you go into it and they don't score an early goal. If they score after about 3 or 4 minutes, then you look at the bench saying maybe take me off at half time. But look, the aim is to have a good performance and hopefully do justice for yourself and your club, and pray they don't score an early goal.
He would do half and half, Scarf, would he? What are you talking about with Liz?
No,
Liz wouldn't do anything like that, would he?
Saturday.
It's almost a year ago, that, by the way. Now we're still.
we've got Gantry on red alert. We've got Gantry on red alert. Don't worry, just see what he's wearing on Saturday up in.
Who would have thought that would come back and bite me every month?
That might be in the titles, that as well. And well done when you're saying about playing against a big team. You haven't mentioned your hat-trick against Liverpool, so well done there.
No.
First time ever, I think.
Well, we're going to have to see I bet the Chelsea goal comes up.
Let's see.
Don't
Just
spoil the
wait.
programme,
Just
don't
wait.
spoil it.
Let's see.
One flick on.
Okay. Liam
I
Rosenia.
got my goal against Chelsea for Birmingham.
Nice.
Just the winner.
What year was that?
A long while ago.
Black and white.
Yeah, late 70s. Yeah. Anyway, so Liam Rosenia, we wish him all the best after the weekend, of course, but he will be coming up against this man in the dugouts. And at the weekend, it was 100 games in charge of Charlton as well. And when we think about it, we were facing possible fourth tier of English football when he first took over in February 24. So even though that Curbs, the recent results haven't been great, when we look about over the whole 100 games, how would you sum it up?
Yeah, successful. I think that, we're having a correction at the moment. That's for sure. But what Nathan's has achieved, keeping us up, winning promotion, and the start we had as well. I think not everybody got carried away, but I think we're looking at this league, and in all fairness, it's a Premier League too. Look at the size of the clubs in this league, in the Championship, the stadiums and the fan bases. This is a proper league, and I don't think as a manager you wouldn't have got too carried away with the results we had earlier, because I think we ended up top 7, top 8, something like that. And now we've had a correction. That's what I would call it, a correction. And mentally, I think the staff, the players, the board have got to realise that when the window opens up as well, and try and do their best. But the aim, surely, is to stay in the league.
Yeah.
That was
as well.
Yeah, and the fans. Yeah, I've heard. I had some people that went to the Norwich game. There's a few rumblings. The fans were a bit disappointed. I suppose possibly because we've done that, and now we've had.
It was a really poor game,
Yeah.
and you get that. But the bigger picture is
we've got to stay in this league, make ourselves more attractive in the summer when we go into the transfer market, because we've stayed in the league and perhaps we can attract better players if you like. But let's be realistic. I think is the answer. That's why I wouldn't have wanted this game, to be honest. I would have liked an easier game, if you like. But just to get us back on track because of the results. But it is what it is. We've got the game. The atmosphere would be great. Let's hope we can respond.
Interesting. Correction, I think, is a great word, because when I was asked earlier in the season, can they go on and be in the playoffs, I'm like, I'm still getting enough points to make sure we don't go down. That's what I was saying, even when we're in the playoff places. So how would you sum up sort of Nathan Brownie and how he's changed things? And it's quite dramatic, isn't it, what's happened, considering how many years we spent in League One and the tough times we had post-match in League One with some games.
I think people forget quickly is the reality. And we've sat here in this studio time and time again looking down at that pitch sometimes going, we've got to another low point here, and recruitment wasn't particularly where we want it to be. And you have to look at all aspects of the club. It has taken a huge step forward in the last 18 months. I think the answer to your question is he made us solid defensively immediately, overnight. I think we had quite a good turnaround relatively quickly in results because him and Curtis sorted out what we were out of possession, and we were much harder to break down. And from that platform, we went on to, get some results. Once we were safe in League One, it was could he take us on again? And we were struggling that first half till about November, and then it just clicked in. And his actual results from November onwards have been spectacular. I do think there probably will be a reaction. We have won 1 in 11, so there's always going to get a negative reaction from certain sections of support, but ultimately, what you can't judge is what a successful season is in January. You can only judge it in May. And if we stay up, to me, that's successful. What we can't do is panic and start pressing panic buttons too quickly, because we've still got a relatively decent gap. We have got that game against Portsmouth that was abandoned that could give us a real good
massive
break.
game,
And I think home form is vital from now to the end of the season in staying up. I've said all along, I think we will stay up. It's not a problem. And then when you look back in June, you'll say, yeah, it was a good year overall. But unfortunately, at this moment in time, there's going to be one or two pressing panic buttons from the stands because we're getting a bit too close to the relegation zone. It's just natural.
Yeah. Liz Browning mentions that the home form has been brilliant. How important is that? And what has Nathan done best for you?
Yeah, I think he's raised the standards in the club and within the players and maybe the stadium as well. He's set boundaries, and I think the players have responded to it, especially as Brownie said last season. They sort of just clicked and everyone sort of understood their roles and understood the role of the club and what was expected of them. And I think through that the club sort of grew, and then we find ourselves in this position. But I still think he's got the same standards. It's just a bit unfortunate, as Curb said, the league you're in at the moment, if you make a mistake, as has been shown over the last 5-6 games, you're going to get punished. So I think it's vital that we maintain those standards, keep them high, and eventually I think, as Brownie said, we will get to a stage at the end of the season where we're still in the division, and then you say, you know, that was a successful season. We are 6 years behind a lot of clubs in this division. We just got to be a bit more patient with it and make sure that we're here next year and go again.
Yeah, and the fans are absolutely crucial in that, and the atmosphere we create, although it ultimately starts with the players given to the fans. OK, now after complaints last month about Brownie being the sole voter of goal of the month, and they mainly came from Brownie himself.
Yeah. Well, it ended 25, you know, how I started.
How could you be upset with yourself? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I still maintain I picked the right goal.
I know you do.
I'm still maintaining it.
We love the fact that you stick with your
Yeah,
decision,
100%.
even though we know you're all
I can give you a
wrong.
reason why, if you like. I mean,
No. You did.
Listen,
We
that's
laughed at you,
last month. Let's
yeah.
leave it. Leave it. Okay. Let me do the link, please. For goodness sake. Honestly, just chill. Let me do the link, then you can carry on.
He's broke his New Year's resolution already.
He has. Well, he's
I've broken
enhanced
quite a
it
few.
even more. Anyway, should we have a look at goal of the month?
Coventry gives it back to Campbell. Campbell, players hovering round him, inside to Kelman. Shot! And Charlie Kelman, back from injury, is back on the score sheet, and Charlton have the lead.
Okay, some great goals in there, contenders for goal of the month. And Brownie, we're taking the pressure off your shoulders, so don't worry.
I really appreciate it.
Shall I start with Curbs?
Yeah, you start any you like.
Which end do you want to go?
Don't want me.
Go on then, Curbs.
Jack Belton. For me.
Jack Belton,
Yeah, top corner, unstoppable shot.
Yeah, great finish.
But very much like the goal last month. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Won't let it lie. Honestly. Just take a chill.
I know.
Just be okay. I know.
Legs
Liz.
going and everything is.
I'm going Charlie. I'm going Kelman.
Yeah,
I think he would have practiced that over and over in training, opening up on your left foot, swivelling and putting the far. What's the matter with you?
Nothing's
He might be
There's a
watching
pace of it as well, Kev.
your coaching technique.
I feel
the pace
it's
of
quite
it.
similar to a lot of my sessions. I think so as
Along
well.
the
I
floor.
went in the week
Yes.
before and coached him. There's a shot.
And he's laying over the same club as you as well. So it's a great finish, innit? You don't know where the defender is. You've
No, I
opened
like-
up.
And it was crucial goal.
And no, but we're not doing that because last time I said like crucial goal, you then went on to.
How long's this show?
Well, that's far too long already, honestly.
It's Brownie who winds me up.
So it doesn't look like I'm going to get the casting vote because you're probably going to go with one of those two, or not? If not, I will go with the casting vote.
I'm going to go with Jack. Yeah.
Okay.
Who you go?
I would have gone with you, Charlie.
Yeah.
2-2.
So now you've got to toss a coin.
No. It's 2-1. My vote doesn't count. Only, yeah.
No,
So can we have another look at? Do you know what? I very often ask myself why I'm here.
Controversial.
Jack, look at that. Go on, Curbs. You tell us about that strike.
No, it's unstoppable, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Kelman's was a great finish. I like the fact he kept it down on the floor and the keeper didn't move.
Changing your mind.
No, I ain't changed my mind.
Is he left-footed, by the way? Because if he's not left-footed, then I might change my mind.
It's too late. It's done.
Jack, well done. You do have the goal of the month for December. We could talk for ages about this, and even last month's one, but we've got to move on now. Okay, so a big tie against Chelsea as well, and we had some classics to look back to and digging into the archives. But Liz, we look back at your winner against Chelsea a few weeks ago, so we're not going to go there.
Oh, that's a bit
You
weird.
happy with that?
That's a bit weird.
Should we do this? In March 2002, Charlton 2, Chelsea 1. Who remembers this game? Curbs, you remember this?
Is that Yuli?
Yeah.
It was Yuli's game.
Yeah.
The maestro. I
He
remember.
got both the goals. We'll come on to him in just a second.
I'm Jason Ewell and
how
I
much you
scored
remember?
goals.
Yeah.
That's a great header back from Sven.
Good finish as well, isn't it?
It's a great header back.
It's a good
from
finish
Sven.
though as well.
He was a number 10 Yuli before people thought about number 10s.
Oh, they didn't exist then, did they?
Yeah.
I remember watching this from the bench.
And Brownie.
Oh yeah, I think we just saw me just moments ago when Paoli went running down the line.
Super Frank gets up. There he is. Right place, right time.
Good team. Really good team, innit? Was that Good Johnson heading it back there?
Good Johnson was a player.
Brandy, what was it like playing against players like Frank Lampard?
Yeah, I mean they're top quality players, aren't they? Simple as that. And I tell you what we did very well. That probably, it's an obvious statement, but we were collective. That was the difference. And you could come with 3 or 4 outstanding individuals, but if you didn't muck in as an 11, we would just outrun you, outwork you, grind you down, and get results like this. So it didn't matter if you had 3 or 4 superstars; they could win you games without any shadow of a doubt. But you had to do the grind first. We weren't giving you games. It was as simple as that.
Look at that clip there. There was about
Yeah.
4 presses there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like every time the ball went to a Chelsea player, there was a Charlton player pressing them, and then
You just spoke about Good Johnson. He went to Barcelona not long after this, didn't he? There's some absolute world beaters in their side, but like I said, there was something about us that you had to come and do the grind first, get on top of us. Your quality would shine through eventually if you did that, but if you came and you were a little bit complacent and you didn't think you had to do that because you had enough talent just to beat us, you come unstuck.
And even though, with respect, better players then than now, the mentality's still the same ahead for Saturday, in my personal opinion. Yuli, 11 goals that season, top scorer.
Yeah.
How good was he at the time?
Yeah, it's a big signing for us, and I think broke the club record. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
record sign at the time,
But as I say, when he introduced himself, he stood up and said, "My name's Jason Ewell, and I score goals." And I went, "Let's hope so."
Did you like that?
Yeah. That's what I said. I then said, "Well, let's hope so, Yuli." But he done great for us, didn't
He
he?
played his part for
Yeah.
sure. And of course, you played your part as well because you came on as a 90-minute sub. So,
It worked. Not so it worked. So on this occasion it worked. Jumping up and down in front of him, doing the star jumps, got my bonus.
So happy you got the appearance.
Got my
money and the
appearance.
bonus.
That's what I was going to say. You got the appearance money,
See,
you
he
put
did
him
look
on,
after
Curve,
me
so
from
well
time
done.
to time.
From time to time.
Oh, fair play, Curve.
Okay, look, back to present day. We saw Frank Lampard there. And let's talk about the game against Coventry City as well, because, it has been a tough few results of the last sort of 6-7 weeks. But that in itself was a great point. What did you make of the performance and the result itself?
Gritty, actually, and determined. We've had a few games the months before where we've conceded again quick. And the game was effectively over at half-time in a stretch of about 3 games. And so when you go 1-0 down against Coventry, who are, by some distance the best team in the league, statistically up to this point, scoring goals for fun, you're thinking, oh, come on. And they did. They responded well. First half was actually played out quite even. second half, we created one or two very, very good opportunities. So did they. But overall, from the position we're in and have been with our injuries and the results against the best team in the league, the 1-1 was a brilliant result. But, you know, they did create some good chances, and Kaminski had a great game. But you've got to have players on the day perform like that to get those 1-1s against the top sides. Kaminski was excellent. Costello came in, was terrific. You know, but it was a battling performance, which we in previous weeks we might not have got that 1-1 with that setback in the second minute. So I thought it was terrific. Yeah.
And it was a big point, Liz, wasn't it? Considering what had happened previously, obviously with Pompey and with Norwich, where we were really terrible, as well as not getting any points at all, and just the recent run of the last few weeks.
Yeah, for me, you get a bit worried. I turned it on and you see you're 1-0 down. You're scared to turn it back on, to be fair, after that point, because, as you say, you look at the results that have happened, the goals that we've conceded in the games before, and then you sort of look at that Southampton game as well, a team in form. They came here and they sort of gave us a bit of a scene too, and then you turn it back and you see 1-1, and you think to yourself, you know what, they would have had to dug in. It doesn't always have to be good performances, but they would have had to dug in to get anything from that game. And as Brownie said, they are the best team up until now in the league, and they score lots of goals, so you're sort of just assuming the worst after you see that first goal. But the lads dug in and got a point against the team top of the division, which is never easy.
Curbs, that was a great point, but results have been poor recently. What have you made of the performances, and are you still confident that we'll stay up?
As I say, we've used the word correction, but also we've been affected by injuries, which you know, I'm sure Nathan and the board are looking at very seriously now with the window. But I think we've got to go back to being realistic. You know, as I said earlier, this is a Premier League 2, as far as I'm concerned. And the teams at the top and the bottom, because we've played teams at the top and we've played people below us. And they're tough games. There's no easy games in there. And, you know, I've always felt that because we've been so strong defensively, if we'd nick a goal, we're going to get something. But, you know, where we've been hit with injuries, etc., that's not so certain anymore. So we've not been scoring too many goals, but we have been letting 1 or 2 in. So, yeah, I just hope that, you know, Nathan gets the players back that he desperately wants. And if we go into the market, we get the players that he's after. And, you know, I keep saying about attractability. You know, if the team can stay up this year, that makes us that much more favourable in the window in the summer, makes us a lot more stronger for next season.
We'll come on to the January window a little bit later, but Joe Rankin Costello putting a man of the match performance, didn't he? What did you make of him?
Well, experienced, you could see he'd been playing in the Championship, and my fear for him was that, like it is all players that haven't played the first half of the season, is you come in and you're not quite up to speed. But he certainly, for 70 minutes, was right in there in terms of he outworked his opponent, loves a challenge, very economical in possession of the ball, very rarely gives it away. And it was just a top performance from him. He sort of run out of steam against Blackburn. That, you know, when you have those 2 games in short space of time, you haven't played for a while, you just run out of steam. But yeah, certainly you could see there's a football intelligence to him, and he'd played several games, or a lot of games in the Championship the previous year. You could just see it in the way he played and manoeuvred himself around the pitch. But yeah, it was a terrific performance. He backed it up. The Blackburn game was a tough game in respects to, you could see both sides were just running on empty. There were so many errors littered throughout the game because you've got all these games coming in short space of time. Squads are getting stretched. It was just a poor Championship game, just purely because they're all stressed physically. You could see it, and they had nothing left in the tank either side, really.
Yeah, I was at Palace last week as well, and even in the Premier League, I think by the end of that Christmas period, I think that the players are just really, really tired. And I understand people saying players shouldn't be tired, but they are in terms of putting in elite performances. Liz, I want to ask you about Charlie Kelman. You and I would have given him goal of the month, but these two took it away from him. But that's 4 in 6 now for him. So how pleased will he be after the injuries?
Yeah, strikers are always happy when we score and unhappy when we're not scoring. And I think for him, most importantly, I'm sure you'd just be happy to be back. I never thought he would have dreamt that he would have come back and had the impact on the team that he's had since he's been back. It's been it's been vital that he's come back and scored goals, because we sort of struggle to score goals, and if you don't score goals in the Championship, I think I said it a few shows ago, you're just not going to win games because teams will score.
How important is that for a striker? I mean, obviously being in the positions we were, you need to be confident or not, even Curbs in centre mid. But being the striker and maybe missing chances and not getting the right chances, how important is it that, or not getting any chances, that you get on the score sheet and you see your name there?
I mean, going back to his goal, the one I said, obviously the goal of the season, that's a player who's been playing for months, and he's just come back. And to be able to do that after just coming back from injury, it shows how hard he's been working off while he's been injured or whatever. To be that sharp and to have that finish with that much power in the corner after being out so long is so vital for him. And he's an experienced person. I know he's not the biggest, but he gets his body there. I think we've missed that as well. He doesn't always win the ball, but he's a presence up there. He likes to hold up. He likes to get his body in between defenders, which is vital, especially away from home. And you add the goals he's scoring as well. He's going to be key for us.
And of course, Charlie Brownie, not Charlie Brown, but Charlie Brownie, paid tribute to Clive Mendonca as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I saw there was a social media post about it because I got WhatsApped it, didn't I, Charlotte?
WhatsApped it.
WhatsApped it. Whatever you say these days. But yeah, look, I think I like the fact that he had a real slow start, and it's you'll be able to tell people more than anyone what do you need when you join a club. You need that early goal, and it kicks you on, and he didn't get it, and you get the grumbles, and I'm just pleased for him that he's found the back net. Not only that, he looks sharper in the box to me now. So I don't know what's happened. He's come off this injury, and there was another volley he took control of it and volleyed it all in one instance. It got blocked, and you're thinking, right, he's looking much sharper, more confident in the box than he had done previously. So I agree with Kel. I think the back half of the season we're going to see a much better Kelman than we saw the first half.
What's the reason behind the Mendonca thing?
I don't know. I saw it. Right, he saw. I don't know is the answer, but he saw it on TikTok, which is another form of WhatsApp.
Why now? Yeah. Oh, why now?
Another form of WhatsApp. I love being around him. He makes me feel so young.
I just got no interest.
Clive would have been pleased.
He deserves it. Yeah. About time.
I've tried to get Clive back down, and we'll continue to make contact with Clive, and when he's ready, I'm sure he'll come back. But it was a lovely tribute. But I'd love Clive to respond to it. But
Someone sent it to him. Do you know if anyone sent it?
We're trying to get
via WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Or TikTok.
Snapchat.
He WhatsApped him.
Yeah, see?
Snapchat, yeah. Well done.
TikTok, Snapchat. Can we move on, please? I'm too old for all that as well. Okay, next we're going to hear from club chairman Gavin Carter, who sat down with Charlotte Richardson on New Year's Day. And actually, while he has and we watch what he has to say, we've got a substitution coming on. Charlotte's going to come on for Liz.
Yeah, always Liz.
Here we go.
Gavin, just over a year ago, you were appointed non-executive chair of the football club you've supported for all of your life. What an incredible year it's been. How have you found it so far?
Well, it's been good. It's been exciting, a lot of hard work, a lot of learning. I think one of my takeaways, though, is a football club is like other businesses. This is a people-related business, and if you treat people well, if you build the right culture, which I think we've been doing around here, then you can get success. And 2025 saw a lot of success.
It certainly did, and us achieving promotion courtesy of another incredible historic day out at Wembley. We're at the halfway point of our first season back in the Championship. How do you assess our progress?
I think in football there's a lot of recency bias, for good and for bad, and that's something which we're experiencing certainly at the moment. It's been a tough run of results, but again, I'm proud of where we are. We set out this season to compete in every single game. I think there's probably one or two that we would say we've fallen short of that bar, but we've hit that bar, exceeded that bar elsewhere. We're at the halfway point. If we achieve what we achieved in the first half of the season, then we would have achieved our goal for this season.
The January transfer window is now open. How do you expect our business to look?
Progressive. I think one of the things which we set out to do, pretty much at the time, actually when I stepped into the chairman role, I think when we came into the club, there was a lot of work to do on the squad. Since then, it's been about progression, and we have a multi-window strategy. We have a squad planning approach, and we'll be looking at making selective but progressive signings in the January transfer window. It is a difficult window. We're not seeing this as a big window. I think in the summer we'll be looking to do more business to continue to make the progress across the club, but it's about making sure that the squad is in as good a position as possible to achieve this season's ambitions.
And the Championship, it's ever evolving, ever demanding. Following our playoff triumph, we had a really busy summer, both on the pitch and off of the pitch. Looking back at that period, what have you been most pleased with following our promotion? That doesn't necessarily have to be matters on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of progress around the club. I mean, one of the things I'm most pleased about is the attendances here at the Valley. I mean, we're averaging attendances higher than we have at any point during the last 16 years. We still have room to go there, but that has been something which has been particularly pleasing. I'm pleased about the performance on the top line, on the revenues of the club. Retail has been particularly strong for us this year. Reebok have proved to be a great partner, and we're doing more and more with them. Hospitality has sold incredibly well this year, so we're feeling really good about the top line of the business, and that allows us to invest in the playing squad, which will allow us to keep making the progress that I hope that we can make for many years to come.
Not everything can be achieved at once, so are there any areas of attention that the club is perhaps hoping to put some more resource or focus in this calendar year?
In 2026, I think we have ambitions for the academy. We have ambitions for the women's team. As I said, with the men's team, we want to see that continued progression. Karen and the girls, the women's team, have done a fabulous job. 2025 unbeaten. That is an incredible achievement. Our ambition is to get into the Women's Super League. That we're in a great position to do. So we want to see that through. There'll be more resource applied to that, and as I say, continued progression across the club.
And we're going to talk more broadly at our directors' meeting later on in this month. In terms of the year ahead, the entire football club, you might have touched upon it a bit there, but what would be your key objective if you could pick out one for 2026?
For 2026, I want to see us continue to be competitive in the Championship, continue to see us build, and move towards being a club in the Championship that can really believe that the Premier League is achievable. I think we perhaps believed that a little bit as fans right at the beginning of this season. I think there's been a little bit of perhaps regression to the mean. As I said, recency bias can be good and bad, but I want that feeling that we had in the first couple of the months throughout the season. So that's the goal.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to speaking more later on in the directors' meeting.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah, great to hear from Gavin there. Charlotte, welcome. I'm not going to say it's a brilliant substitution. I'll let the other two say that, and I'll just nod my head. Good to see you. Good that you got the memo for the colour coordination.
Merlot is
as well.
the trend of 2026.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Brownie will follow suit for the next episode.
I don't own a Merlot.
Only the one you can pour.
Would cover the stain well, though, wouldn't it?
There's a few Merlot stains he's got on some of his other clobber. I mean, no, it was a really good interview, and it's always interesting listening to Gavin as well. How did you find him? How was he?
Yeah, it was really good. I think the thing with Gav is you just feel the sort of passion and energy of a fan and someone ready to really attack 2026, attack the month. We spoke ahead of the Coventry game, but even coming down here today to the Valley and seeing all the hard work going on ahead of the Chelsea game, you can see the coverings on the pitch. The Valley isn't looking like it normally does, but that's to protect the pitch. But the buzz around the club, and I think Gavin deserves a lot of credit. And I remember speaking to Nathan in August, and we reflected on the season, and he made a point of mentioning Gavin coming in at a really vital time and stabilising things, and listening to you guys talk about what's going on higher up in the football pyramid with the Manchester Uniteds and the Chelsea. Stability in a boardroom really, really is so important, and I think Gavin set the tone of that. So yeah, really nice to catch up with him. And
of course, Brandy, you know Gavin very well as well. In the year in charge he's been as chairman, how would you oversee what he's done?
He brought a calmness, I think, to the building, and he has, a long-term view on everything. So He's not a panicker. You've just seen from the interview. He's relatively calm. He doesn't really get up or down. That's what you see is what you get. But what he has done is given the manager all the support that he can possibly give him, and that's the crucial part. Is that it's not, whether there's a run of good results or bad results. I'd like to think that Gav was behind him, making sure that Nathan felt like he was okay, and that's what got him through that horrible period in the first half of the League One season that we got promoted. And it was that level of support, I think, that when the turnaround come, we had that really good acceleration away in results. But yeah, I mean, if you'd have seen him on the train home from the Huddersfield game, like he was a broken fan, to the guy that's talking about recency bias, which we'll discuss at another time, I think. But yeah, he's heavy on data and heavy on building. So when he says about the windows, it's calculated. It's not like it's random. We're going to put something together in January. There is a plan to everything he likes to deliver.
We talked about Chelsea and the philosophy of the owners, and they're coming in from where they're coming in from. This is a successful businessman who's a Charlton fan who cares. What did you make of what he said there, Curbs?
Well, knowing Gavin, it was quite true to form. He doesn't get up there and he's not going to get down there. But I think the rest of the board rely on him to be that conduit between the manager and what's going on, because obviously we've got owners who don't see every game. They watch the TV, they see the results, etc. But then they need a buffer, and I think Gavin's the buffer. And when times are good, he won't go overboard, and when they're not so good, he won't go so low. So that's exactly what you need. That's what you need at a football club. And I think the relationship he has with Nathan, etc., and with the board, holds us in good stead.
And Charlotte, you talked about the growth opportunity about the women's side there and the success of 2025. Can you elaborate on that and tell us how it went for them?
2025 was a fantastic year for the women's team. Ironically, started with an FA Cup clash against Chelsea, so a bit of mirroring there, and they narrowly lost to Chelsea, who've been dominant in the women's game, and from that point stayed really competitive in the WSL2, and last season only one team could get promoted, and in the end Charlton missed out. They finished third. It was a final day of the season, kind of winner takes all game between London City Lionesses and Birmingham, two very, very well established women's teams, financially backed as well. This season things are a little bit different. There's been a restructure with the divisions, which means that two teams will get promoted automatically. Third place will play in a playoff against the second from bottom in the WSL1. And the team has been phenomenal. The summer saw some comings and goings, really, really shrewd recruitment from Karen Hill. She kept some really key people within the squad, but went out and added some quality as well. And we start this year, we've got the FA Cup this weekend, but we start this year 5 points with a 5-point goal points different on second and 8. So we're in a really fantastic position to push ahead. And 2025 ended in typical Charlton Athletic style. We were 1-0 down to Nottingham Forest. Came back to win 2-1 with something like a 96th, 97th minute winner. So very, very Charlton Athletic. But one point I would love to make is we have to get behind this team. We really do, because the trajectory is upwards, and hopefully we should be on course to compete in the WSL1. We need to start packing this place out. Yeah. It's such a brilliant, brilliant atmosphere when you come down, and Karen Hills and her team will need all of our support to make sure we are competing with the Chelseas every weekend, please.
I have a vote on the league, because I'm on the League Managers Committee. I have a vote for Manager of the Month. And every time Karen comes up, I have to put underneath it, this is not favouritism. She deserves it.
Yeah.
She sure does.
She absolutely does. And look, we'll hear more from Gavin and the other directors at the biannual Meet the Directors meeting on January the 21st. So can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I think Brownie's been quite closely aligned with this as well in terms of like the wider fan engagement strategy. So we have these biannual meetings. It's a chance for supporters to ask their questions to the board. I try and pose as many questions as I can, but this is your opportunity. Whatever you want to know, pose the questions. I do have an email address, so website at cafc.co.uk. So if supporters watching this want to ask the board anything, whether it be about the women's team, the men's, the January transfer window, all of those things, we try and get through as much as possible. But I think it's really good accountability, and again, that is a subject that's happening a lot, isn't it, in the sports sector at the moment, about the hierarchy of football clubs having not only that accountability but that transparency as well. And I think it's brilliant that the board actively do that. They actively want those conversations, because having been involved with this football club for a number of seasons now and seeing that change of ownership, I think that's one of the real plus points of this sort of new ownership group, that they want to have that conversation, dialogue. So join us live, it'll be on YouTube, and get your questions in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, is it my turn now?
Well,
I'm going to take the wheel, take control of proceedings, because look, Saturday is unofficially, or shall we make it officially, the Scott Minto derby.
No, it's not. But
how
anyway.
are you feeling about it?
Well, look, I was asked I got called up by Ollie Groom to do a piece in the programme, and he said, must have been brilliant for you. And I don't know, in a way, like Liz was saying last season about the final. You know, Chelsea obviously gave me the best day of my career with the '97 Cup final, and yet Charlton it was almost like my first love, coming through the ranks at a very young age, playing in the Back to the Valley. So it actually didn't want it, because someone has to lose. So, it'd be a bit of a strange game, but I'll be commentating on it, which is going to make it even stranger.
Well, look, we're going to use this as a nice opportunity, because you're always the one posing the questions. I want to know a little bit about the role, first of all, that Keith Peacock played in your move from Charlton
The
to
super
Chelsea.
agent. The super agent.
Tell you,
Oh, should Cam's answering this first?
Yeah.
I've still not forgive him because he should have gone to Arsenal and would have got 200 grand more. No, he wanted to go down the King's Road.
Yeah, so I met up with George Graham. I thought I was going to be signing for Arsenal for a few months leading up to the end of that '94 season. And for the record, if you remember, in '94 we got to the FA Cup final at Old Trafford, didn't we? And we got 0-0 half time, quarter final, and Kim Grant got sent off. We got Schmeichel got sent off. Sorry, foul on Kim. Yeah. Anyway, they beat us 3-1, and even with 10 men, and I think we won 2-11 after that. So it looked like it wasn't going to happen for me getting into the Premier League with Charlton. So Arsenal looked like it was going to happen. Keith wanted me at Chelsea. Gavin was there, but he knew the type of football I liked, and he thought I'd do well under Glenn Hoddle. So he was like,
"200 grand more." I might have been able to buy someone. Never mind, Keith.
So cutting a very long story short, I met up with George. I said, look, can I have a week? I haven't got an agent. My dad's away on holiday. He wasn't. Away on business. He wasn't. And I literally didn't have a mobile phone. Walked out of Highbury, rang up Keith in a red phone box, 10p in the slot. Keith, I've bought myself a week. Within 2 hours, he'd called me, said, right, we're going to meet up with Chelsea, and tonight you're either going to be an Arsenal player or a Chelsea player. So I said, well, I haven't got an agent. I haven't got anyone to help me do the contract. Would you do it? He said, I can't. I'm with Charlton. I said, would you ask the club? So he did, and the club said, yes, okay, it's no problem. And to be fair, the club looked after me in that sense, because remember, Anthony Barnes didn't have an agent. You looked after him, didn't you, with his contract? So super agent Keith Peacock.
And it's interesting, isn't it, when players reflect on their careers and those kind of crossroad moments where you could have gone down that path with Arsenal, but you went with Chelsea, and you never really looked back, did you? It's a chapter of your career I know means so much to you.
It does. The first 2 years, I missed the whole of pre-season, that first season with an Achilles injury, and I was playing catch up, and I was injured on and off the whole season. Second season finished that season really well. Started the second season really well. Thought, right, I'm going to crack on now. Out of 5 months with an ankle operation. So third season, all I was praying for was just to be fit, and it couldn't have gone better. Scored goals, made assists, played in the cup final, played pretty well. I was happy with it, and that was my last game. I didn't know that was going to be my last game for Chelsea, and it was when we were on tour, Hong Kong, Brunei, and Thailand. I got the call about Benfica, and I was out of contract. I thought, what a great opportunity to become a foreigner and play for one of the biggest clubs in Europe.
Every little boy and girl's dream is to win the FA Cup. And I know over the years, perhaps the FA Cup has reduced in significance, but not to die-hard English football fans. What can you recall from that day?
Not a lot. My memory's not good anymore. I do
remember it was Kim Grant and Schmeichel.
I know. It's funny because it was the biggest game of my career, and yet I wasn't nervous for it. And yet I'd been, nervous before and after. With obviously not as big a games, but I was in a good vein of form. I was comfortable. I felt I should have started. I did. I played well. And I remember at the end of it, Mark Hughes then got a record 4 FA Cup winners' medals. So I opened it up, and the one then, it was really small. It's almost like a 50p piece, almost just slightly bigger than that. And I said, is that it? Is that the FA Cup winners' medal? And oh, you cheeky little, I've got 4 of those. But Sparky, great guys. Gianfranco Zola was there. Luca Vialli came on. Ruud Gullit was the manager. Di Matteo's goal after 43 seconds. Yeah. And I remember it being very hot and very humid. And yet, for some reason, I just felt I could run all day in that game.
Where'd you keep Your FA Cup medal.
So for over 20 years, my dad had it. And just a couple of years ago, he sort of gave it back to me. So I'm not going to tell you where it is. Not that you're going to nick it, but yeah, it's somewhere locked away.
Well, look, Scotty has said to us that he can't remember too much from the day, but maybe this might jog his memory somewhat.
Scott Minto is with us. I couldn't believe it when Graham Rix was saying that Ruud Gullit would just write the names up on a blackboard. That must have been a nerve-wracking moment for somebody that, well, were you confident about getting in?
Well, you never know with Ruud, really. He leaves his team till about an hour and a half before the game, and such a big game like this, yeah, you are sweating a little bit, but, you know, I was happy to be selected.
Just tell us, what was it like as he was going through? Did you think, my goodness, this is where he should be writing my name?
Yeah, unfortunately he did, so I was quite happy, yeah.
You must feel for sort of Craig Burley at this stage, though.
Yeah, Craig, I mean, he's had a great season, and in the semi-final he's one of our best players as well. I mean, you know, we've all been in the same position, not just myself, but all of us, where, you know, we've had to be rested a few times, and it's unfortunate for him that, you know, it's such a big game like this.
A word on the conditions this afternoon. It's extremely hot on the pitch, isn't it?
It is. It's very humid. I think that's the main thing, but the pitch is fantastic, and, you know, we're looking forward to it.
OK, have a good game. Nice to talk to you.
Thanks so much.
Well, what do we make of that, chaps?
I don't know where to start. I mean, Backstreet Boys kicks in straight away.
The locks were glossy, the hair looked great.
Sideburns were long, weren't they?
They were beautiful.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Now. What do you think
just
of that?
stunned.
Just fuming about his 200 grand.
That's what he's turned into. He left us and turned into that.
Oh, it's brilliant, it's brilliant. And look, I know you dodged the question when Kev asked it, I think, in the last show, but who do you want to win on Saturday, Scotty?
Bang out of order, Charlotte. Look, I think everyone knows what I feel about this club, and of course I want them to win. The problem is that who's got the better chance of going on and actually getting towards the final and winning the competition itself. But if Charlton had the chance of doing that, I'd say Charlton all day long.
Good answer. Good answer. Well, look, chaps, thank you so much.
He's not happy with that answer.
Thank you so much for having me, as always. And it's actually quite pertinent because I want to leave you with a little clip from a piece that I've recorded with Matty Godden, and just hearing you there, Scott, talk about injury, it really takes me back. So I went down to Sparrows Lane to visit Matty and to learn a little bit more about what goes on behind the scenes in terms of rehabilitating players. And Matty was so gracious with his time. We reflected on a 2025 of two halves. The first half, of course, he played an instrumental part in our promotion. The second, getting to grips with what was a really niggly injury. I hope you enjoy. I hope it gives you some insight. Here's a little preview of our piece with Matty Godden.
We set Matt a number of objective markers throughout his rehabilitation, and these are markers that are set at specific goals along that rehabilitation journey. So whether that be a return to running for Matt, whether it be a return to change direction, we as physios use strength markers, range of motion markers, sort of specific power markers as well.
Drive and relax. Good. Love it. 0% asymmetry. Bang on. All right. Get in. Bang it. Yep.
You have obviously good days, have really bad days, lonely days, but today's, yeah, because I got the all clear basically.
You can say why.
On, when are we? On Tuesday. Just to say crack on. Away you go. I don't need to see you again.
Well, thank you, Charlotte, for dropping by. Unfortunately, that means she's got to go and Liz is coming back in.
He's gutted he weren't here just a minute ago.
I know.
Aren't you?
Oh, it's one of the hardest things I've done in my life.
Go on, you got one thing to say.
It's a bit late now, but sitting there watching you on that screen with your glasses on there, and I couldn't say anything. That killed me. I actually wanted to stand up, but it is what it is, isn't it? We are where we are.
Absolutely, mate. You can tell me in the debrief.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that after the show.
Oh, there's so many things wrong with it.
Anyway, that's just obviously a small part of Matty and Charlotte's interview, and the full interview will be on the website very soon indeed. And Brandy, let's start with you. And I'm not sure starting with you because I'm talking about injuries here. But
you had one big one. The
you,
rest of it
you
was
were
all
very
right.
unlucky with the big
I just
one.
didn't get picked.
The one you went off on the stretcher, was that the one?
That was unfortunate curves, but it was. I was back for the Tuesday game. Don't worry about it.
Sent off.
Yeah, no, I hadn't.
That's right, he wasn't. Yeah, just explain how difficult it is for players who that's all we want to do. And I'm not asking for anyone to feel sorry for us because
No.
we're professional footballers. But when that's taken away, a part of you is taken away for a period of time, isn't it?
Yeah, and do you know what? I can't say the same for Matty because I don't know what the injury was and to what extent he was suffering. But I had an ACL at 18 when ACLs were bad news. You know, surgeons would. I mean, it was clumsy what they were doing. I got like a scar that's that long. It's 12-inch long scar all the way down the knee, and it went wrong. And I was effectively out for 18 months, and I wasn't even rehabilitating at a club like Matty is there with physios around you and seeing the players. I was sent off to a clinic in Epsom for 6 months of my life, not knowing if I was going to get another contract, etc. I used to come in at the weekends, and people thought I'd been released. So I'd come here for the weekend to watch the game, and they go, "Oh, I thought you'd gone." You know, so it's
hoped or thought?
Well, probably hoped. But no, I mean, it's different times, you know, and Matty's had a setback, and I have spoken to him privately, and, you know, you try and give him your experience of light at the end of the tunnel, you know, focus on that. Don't focus on the right now that you're upset about, and, you know, you've got to work to get yourself back on the pitch, which he's doing well. He looked in great condition. I don't think he's a million miles away. But it's a horrible period. We've all had injuries. It's lonely. It's horrible. There are times when you think, you might break down whilst you're injured and you think, right, what's happening to my body here? I don't know if I'm going to get back. So, yeah, it's a horrible little period. Like you said, you don't expect anyone to feel sorry for you. But you do have those thoughts creep in, you know, which you are basically left to your own devices, aren't you, as a human being, and it can be tough.
I remember we were outside, pitch side, when we were predicting, you know, how things would go for the season, and my player of the season was going to be Matty.
Right.
And I didn't see the injury, him being injured for so long, and I think he's been a big blow of the club on the pitch as well. But Liz, for you, did you have any major injuries? A couple of seasons where you just couldn't quite get back to 100%?
Yeah, I'd done my medial ligament when I think I was about 19 as well. So I was out for 8 months, and as Brownie said, it's completely different then to it is now. You get cut open, you look and you see this massive stitches, then you got the big boot on, you got the cast on your leg for another 2 months. So, it doesn't make it any different. It's not any easier what they have to deal with now. But just looking at him there, you can see the pain in his face and the eagerness to get back out there and be part of something. But yeah, it's the most difficult part of your life as a footballer. I know, as you say, we're not expecting people to feel sorry for us, but there is a sadness to it, and I hope he gets back soon and starts playing.
Yeah, the Gabriel Jesus article recently was very, very interesting, wasn't it? I won't ask you about the Curbs calves, even though you're still stretching now.
No, I had 2 bad injuries. I had a fractured my kneecap at Birmingham when I was on the verge of the World Cup squad. I thought Ron Greenwood was in charge, and fractured my kneecap, so I was out for that World Cup, and that was it. And then here, when we won promotion, 85, I'd done my Achilles, and I had to have an operation on my Achilles. And as Lenny said to me, "Cocker, you're going to be out for 3 or 4 months. I'm going to have to bring someone in," and that's what he did. He brought Andy Peake in, a couple of other midfield players, because we just won promotion to the Premier League, and I couldn't get back in. Yeah. So I had 2 injuries that really, really done me in a little bit, but never mind.
Okay, never mind. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peaky was my pro. I used to clean his boots.
Yeah.
And I bought his car. Anyway, nothing to do with that. Let's move on.
It was though, wasn't it? I bought Gritty's car.
Did you?
And I bought Frank Lampardini's car.
Did you? That was how it works, isn't it? Brilliant. I'm glad I said it now. Okay, back to memory lane then, and another famous Boxing Day victory, and this time back in, 2003-04 season. Curbs, do you remember this one as well? Charlton 4, Chelsea 2?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic game. We won it 4-2, Di Canio, and we went 4th in the league, 4th in the Premier League. Herman.
Yeah, anything in the box, you header everyone, Herman, in it, to get that ball in it.
It's a great header, isn't it? It's a great delivery, to be fair.
Oof.
But Brown and Liz,
your answer?
Yeah, you two weren't involved in that.
I wasn't here.
No.
Matty Holland?
I was on the bench.
I tell you what, he's not known for that. Yeah. That's a great arrival and a great header.
What, getting in the box?
I thought he was sort of a bit of a sitting sort of midfielder, but I mean, this is a brilliant arrival.
Great class.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great. I mean, that's JJ on the weak side, isn't it? He was a right footer, no?
Yeah, he could use both feet, though, JJ.
How good was that side then, Curbs?
It was a terrific side. I think that, every single player, we bought Di Canio in to give us something different, and he certainly did. But he just got all the other players playing. Look at him.
Scotty was busy on the day, Curbs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
JJ.
No, it was a really good side, and as I say, we won this game 4-2 and was 4th in the Premier League, and looking for Europe really. This is what we done to Chelsea.
I mean, Scotty was, all joking aside, and
Yeah.
let's doff our cap to him, how he was at that particular time, and he was bossing games against Champions League teams, wasn't he? And how do you think if you had kept him, it could have been Champions League? Or
we'd have finished in the
Europe?
top 6.
Yeah.
Because what happened was, I mean, we couldn't stand in his way at the end. Obviously, the money and the fee and the whatever, but I couldn't spend it because we got 10 million. And, I mean, look at the players. You got Yurley, Matty Holland, Johansson, Di Canio, Parker. Going forward, we was such a strong side. Herman at the back, as Brownie said, and Dino in goal. And Kissy Chef. We had such a good side.
Got Nookie Bear in there as well, haven't you? I tried to get him down for the game, actually, Graham Stewart. He's busy, unfortunately, but we'll get him back as well one day. He was a very good player as well, Graham. Underrated, very intelligent footballer. There's another one we've got to give him a mention because this was a very, very good team.
He doesn't get the recognition, does he, Kish?
No, we used to say about Kish as a squad, he's either world class or he's a pub player.
Yeah.
There was no in between. And luckily for us, he was mostly world class.
Yeah, but whenever he turned up, you got something out of him, didn't you?
Dunbar. Zambada. I had one massage off Zambada, couldn't walk for 4 days. I can't train today, Kurt. Why? Zambada's worked on my calves yesterday and they're solid. I literally, there's no giving them, I can't walk. And he went,
that's all right, I was going to make a change anyway.
It's all right, I'm going to leave you out.
Stay on the bench as long as you want,
Recency
Brownie.
bias there was again. I had one bad game.
It was a good side, though.
Yeah, very good side.
Okay, back to present day, and of course we are in January right now, so let's talk about the January transfer window. And Brownie, what sort of areas do you think that Nathan and the recruitment side will be looking at?
Oh, I think they'll look at all areas. I really do. I don't think there's an area they won't look at because I think, Gavin said in his article, it's progressive. So if there's a player out there, January is notoriously difficult. We've had this conversation many times. It's a difficult window to do any good business in, because teams will think you're desperate to sign somebody. So, the level of cost goes up. The agent smells that he can get his player a bit more money because the club. So it's a difficult window to do business in. But I'm telling you, if there's anyone out there that the club thinks we can improve our squad, I think there is a facility in terms of finance to go and do that. But it's not an easy window. I ain't Curbs to tell you. It's difficult. And then you try and keep the player right to the end, don't you? Because you're trying to find a replacement if it's going the other way. We haven't even spoke about going the other way. You could have one or two clubs coming in for our players. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you. I think probably not at the moment in terms of recent form because we've had some very good performers over the last 12 months. But in recent form, it may have settled down a little bit because, again, for reasons I've just said, if you're trying to buy one of our players now, there'll be a premium from us. We need everyone on board. So if you're going to take one of ours away, we're going to elevate our costs. So, it's difficult. But yeah, I don't think there's a position he won't look at, is the truth.
Curbs?
Well, I think Godwin's the big thing. Saying that he's maybe available. That's a big decision. If he comes back and he's okay, fine. If he gets a setback, I think we've got to go and do something. And I think also at the back, where we've had a few injuries.
Left wing back.
Yeah, if something can be done, they're the two positions. I think midfield's strong enough, and you've got enough, players fighting for that position. I just think up top, if we take another injury there, like with Miles or whatever, Kelman, then we're in a bit of trouble. So yeah, I think up top's going to be the main priority, and probably a defender.
Liz, it was only 2 January signings last season, but it's a big step up, isn't it, from Championship to League One? So how do you see it?
Yeah, I'd like to see someone who can take someone on, be a bit more expressive, someone who can get us up the pitch with a little bit of quality at the end of it as well. I think we're missing maybe someone who can dribble with the ball and experience in this league. Someone who's proven in this league that is comfortable getting the ball up the field and creating chances for the strikers. It's okay having a striker in there, but I think strikers want some tap-ins now. I think someone who can get behind and maybe pull a few back for the strikers to get some easy chances. So someone a bit more creative maybe on the flanks.
Yeah, probably have to go into the loan market for that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're going to do anyway.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think loan market is the market we're probably trading over January, I would have thought. Yeah.
Okay, well, January's only started, so we've still got a few more weeks to see what will happen with Nathan and the recruitment side. We talked about Charlton's incredible FA Youth Cup win over Liverpool on last month's show, and a date has now been set for the next round of the Cup. The Addicts will travel to Watford on Thursday evening, and the game will be available to watch live on Charlton TV from 7 p.m. So, Brownie, great competition, an exciting one for Jason Pearce's young side. It's a competition I obviously love, getting to the final as a schoolboy, but unfortunately not winning it. Have we got a chance?
You've always got a chance, haven't you? I mean, they've just beaten a very, very good side. So, look, I've said to you, I think we spoke about this last month, it is the pinnacle of youth team football. Yeah. You know as well as I do, you sit there and it's the only time really you gather around waiting to see what the draw is. You know, the rest of the games just flow. But, you know, they've given themselves a great opportunity. But you've got to say, as a Category 2 club, you wouldn't expect Charlton to get to the final. But they've given themselves a great opportunity by beating Liverpool. Everyone will go, it's Watford next, you've beat Liverpool, but it doesn't work like that, as you well know. So look, fingers crossed for them. They picked up a great result, but that is a tough competition to win because, like the rest of this country, the top ones are Man City and Chelsea, the ones that are Category 1 with all the money, all the finances that can pay large sums of money for players. They're going to be the favourites, but you can certainly compete, that's for sure.
Absolutely, taking the best kids from around the world, not just around the UK anymore. But good luck, Piercy, and the boys as well against Watford. Okay, excellent interview coming up with Charlton board member and former Charlton and Chelsea player, of course, Paul Elliot. I did that with him a little bit earlier. But before we leave you, let's look at the month ahead and the fixtures we've got coming up. And look, it has been a difficult 6 to 8 weeks, there's no doubt about it. Chelsea is the glamour game, which I'm not saying we will get beaten heavily at all. I think there's every chance that we could win it if their attitude isn't right. But it's almost a get away from it all. So we've got Sheffield United, Derby, Millwall and Leicester. How crucial curbs do you see, you know, this January coming up? And they're all in a very short space of time, aren't they?
I mean, look at the games. You know, as I said earlier about the strength of the Championship, take Chelsea away from it. Chrissy Wilder has gone into Sheffield United. They've really had a resurgence. Derby, you know, Derby's Derby, and then we've got the Millwall game, who are in the top 6, and then Leicester. It's a tough 4 games in the Championship.
Brownie, how do you see it?
I just think the home games are vital. You know, and I will say this, it might have gone under people's radars, but we are 3 games further on away from home than we are at home. We've got 3 to catch up, and they come late, I think. I think the last month we're 4 at home, 2 away. That could be a crucial month, you know, because I don't care what anyone says, we are excellent here at times, and we do pick up far more points at the Valley. That Mill one for me is always the one. We've got a dreadful record. I'd love to go there.
I'm surprised it's 12:30. You would have thought it'd be 8:30 in the morning.
8:30, yeah, kick off as it gets light. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, we're still waiting. I mean, I think Micah Marn's the last goalkeeper to win away at Millwall. That's it, right? And he's had kids and grandkids. You know, so we're due a win away, and hopefully it comes around this time. But
Liz, big month coming up.
Yeah, I think we sat here. Big months, yeah, as I was about to say, yeah, we sat here 2 months ago looking at the schedule, saying, look, that's a hard month. We need to get through that, and then the month after, but it just seems to be rolling on every month. We look at fixtures, and you look at those, and you say that's another hard month, isn't it?
But I think the fact that Brownie's brought it up is a really good point. We played the same amount of games as everybody else, but we're 3 behind in terms of the home games versus away games, and our home form generally is good, isn't it?
There's always a balance in it. You play as much away as you do at home, and it's just it's when it happens, and we just got to maybe suffer a little bit playing those away games, and then when we do go home, ensuring that when we play at our ground, that the fans and the players sort of get behind each other, and we get those results, because now we're in January, and before we know it, we're in April, and then squeaky time.
Okay, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Always.
Shall we finish off with a prediction for Saturday?
Yeah.
Shall we?
Curbs?
It's a sellout.
I'll be on there.
We're going to earn some money, and hopefully,
8 o'clock kick-off.
if we can't buy anyone in the window, the extra money we may be able to loan a real decent player, pay a loan fee, whatever. You know, I think the gate.
Politician, shouldn't it?
I think the gate is just as important because if we'd have got, I don't know, a third division team at home and got beat, then suddenly you got no money out of it. Yeah. So we're going to earn enough money.
For the score?
You're down there,
No. I would rather not play.
Has anyone ever given a prediction?
Go on, Liz.
It's going to be a tough game.
Tough
game.
fixture.
Someone's going to win.
I think we've got to go at it first 15.
Got nothing to lose.
Really go at it and see what their mentality is like. And I think Liam will pick as strong a side as he possibly can because he wants to start off on it won't look good losing Charlton away a Championship side. I always think whenever I've been on both sides, if you're in the smaller side, you are playing at home with the crowd, there'd be fantastic here as well. Go out in the first 10, 15. If you can nick a goal, brilliant. Even if you can't, you've put them on the back foot.
Yeah, and it gives you as the home side and the players within that starting 11 a great vision of what Premier League football is.
It's got a thing going for it,
like.
isn't it? An upset, it's live on TV, isn't it? And etc. And a full house.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. Are they up for it? We'll have to wait and see.
Well,
can't wait.
I wish they had a few of them players with them sunglasses on, didn't you?
Temperature's a lot difficult. Okay, lads, it has been a pleasure. Let's go and have a debrief where you can give me even more stick for those sunglasses and sideburns for sure. But I cannot wait for the game at the weekend. Really looking forward to it. Before we do go, though, we've got a great interview with Charlton and Chelsea legend Paul Elliot. Bye for now. Well, look, Paul, it's great to be here at the Valley, isn't it? We're sitting in the home dressing room at the moment. I don't know about you, but I was in the porter cabins when we went back to the Valley. What was the dressing room like when you were at Charlton?
There wasn't any. No, seriously. Something of a similar nature, Scott. But it's nice, isn't it? I mean, I'm just feeling it, thinking it's small, it's compact.
Yeah.
I can imagine the Nathan effect in here. Yeah. His energy, his vibrancy, his leadership, how it impacts people. Feels great.
I think it suits Charlton for sure, and what it's about. But look, we're here. We're going to be talking about what is a really glamorous game, isn't it, at the weekend? And of course, two clubs that we both care about a lot, and we had the honour of playing for. How much are you looking forward to the game?
It's fascinating, riveting. I have seen so many people, Scott, from both sides of the fence. Chelsea historical friends that I've known, and I mean, even one of my really good mates, Paul Cannaville, Chelsea's first black player. Canner's great man. He's on my case to get him in.
Is he?
And I said to him, the way we're going, he could even do the team talk. But
he's got his own suite at the bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I weren't happy about that. But but Canners has been on. Kerry Dixon, the Whig, who's a good mate of mine, Kerry. And it's just one that it's going to galvanise London. This is going to be an all-London tie. Under lights, 8 o'clock kickoff, 27,000 people in South London, and great for the local community. It's going to be a game where there's going to be a ferocious intensity, a euphoria, and I just think it's fantastic for Charlton Athletic, fantastic for South London, and great for Chelsea.
I think it's fair to say it's not quite a JFK moment, but can you remember where you were when you were told? Because, and how many people did text you? Because I reckon I got about 30 texts. I'd just been at Fontwell races.
Yeah.
Maybe had a few drinks as well. We're in the pub afterwards, and suddenly ping, ping, ping. And in the end, I'm like, I'm not going to answer this. This is unbelievable, though.
I'm actually aligned with your presence, Scott, because I actually was in a pub.
Well, yeah.
There's a shock.
And the last time we saw each other, actually, in London Bridge.
That's right, London Bridge, mate. And it's one of these ones like that, then bing, 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 and it was just like the hot phone, wasn't it? It started to bubble, and I just couldn't. I don't know how I felt. I was just thinking of all the wider ramifications, and sportingly, socially, environmentally. London, South London, obviously West London, the affluence, and everything else. And I was just thinking it's going to be a great. I mean, people could say it's a David and Goliath, maybe. But you know, we know the FA Cup. We've all grown up on that. Our generation is the most amazing FA Cup competition in the world, and you know, it's a great. I just think it's a great fixture for our football club. I mean, Charlton and in South East London and our local community to really, you know, get behind this football club. The fans have been magnificent all season, as you know, home and away. And I just think it's a nice respite to sort of divert their thinking into a high quality match, because we know Chelsea, what a team. I mean, I saw them in the you know, in the World Club Championships, but I've looked at their purchases, their acquisitions, some remarkable talent, young talent that in football in terms are not household names, but they're going to be. They've got some of the best young players in the world, in Europe, and that's going to be a great test, a great opportunity for our outstanding young players at Charlton that really want to evolve and grow and understand what does that top level look like. They're going to know that on Saturday, and that will be a great experience for them.
Okay, I want to take you back now then to when you played for both Charlton and Chelsea as well. We're going to compare the two and contrast. Any similarities between the two clubs back then, or what were the big differences?
No, to be honest with you, quite interestingly, the real authentic similarities that both clubs had a focus on development, on youth. Charlton, it was myself, Paul Walsh, sort of come through the ranks as two, you know, local players from Abbeywood, Mills, Abbeywood, Plumstead, Thamesmead, Charlton, Lewisham, not quite Belsize Park and Fulham Road, or Kings Road, but I'm proud of my roots, right? And so that was, I think that was the main thing. It was like a kind of a seminal moment, and I just thought, wow, you know, it was so different then because the game was different, wasn't it? The game was different, and there was a rivalry between the clubs, but not. I remember actually as a Charlton 17-year-old in the first team playing against Chelsea over at Stamford Bridge, and I have to say, Scott, without candour here, it wasn't for the faint-hearted, that fixture, especially me defending as a 17-year-old kid, and I've got the shed right behind me. And let's just say, they wasn't full of admiration and compliments towards me for a number of reasons. So that was great, but I just loved the experience. I mean, Chelsea was a club I loved even throughout the 70s, wasn't it? All those great players, Peter Osgood and all that thing, and their kit was a great kit. But I think for Charlton, my goodness me, what a fixture. What a fixture.
It's funny actually, because when I left Charlton in '94 to get into the Premier League, and that was the only reason why I left Charlton, I went to Chelsea under Glenn Hoddle, and I'm thinking, well, I'm in the Premier League now. The training ground, Harlington, do you remember it?
I remember seeing the Boeing 747s about 100 foot above us.
I've got to choose my words carefully, but it wasn't a great place. Glenn Hoddle, I mean, mobiles were just coming in at the time. Glenn Hoddle, there was a... Do you remember there was a sort of like a phone box on the wall with 10p there? They'd broken it so that you know you could put in, if you wanted to make a call, you could put in 10p. It would come to the bottom, and the pips go. You go again. Glenn Hoddle was making calls to agents to bring players over on this phone box. I mean, you wouldn't believe it now, would you? So actually, the Charlton training ground was better than Chelsea's at the time.
It certainly was, and because I remember, because I think QPR used it thereafter, maybe
that's right.
adopted it their home, and also Scott, the wind. it was like there was a tornado that come through, and you're right. I mean, you know, I called it a park pitch. You know, what I mean, it made Charlton Park look like Wembley.
Well,
to be quite honest,
I tell you what it did do, especially because it was obviously by Heathrow as well. When the planes were coming over in that wind as well, you got the ball on the ground and you played on the ground.
And you're right. I mean, Glenn, he was great at the time, and he was the one that really, let's just say, advanced the club, didn't he? In terms of bringing it to an elite level. And yeah, I mean, but Charlton, to be fair, historically, since I was here as a youth team kid, the training facilities have been very, very good. At the back of Eltham,
Sparrows Lane,
Sparrows Lane, and all on the associated fields when I was a kid. You know, the Metro Ground. They were really, really good facilities. So historically, it's fair to say, you know, up until the emergence of Cobham, you know, Buckingham Palace, as they say
Yes.
for Chelsea,
Yeah.
that Charlton had far better, the greater facilities.
So I'll take you back to the beginning at Charlton then. You're in the youth team. How old were you when you first started playing in the youth team? And tell us about the progression as well to the first team, and who the first team players were at the time.
Well, I mean, Scott, it was fascinating for me because I came here, supported it, you know, lived in Morris Walk Estate, you know, went to Woodhill Primary School, which is about 300 metres from here. My in-laws still up the road, 5 minutes drive. So as an 8-year-old kid, Charlton was always embedded in my DNA. I used to bunk in behind the South Stand then with my two brothers, Jeff and Tony, and it was great. And, you know, you had Mike Flanagan. They were great players. Billy Bonzo, lovely Chislehurst man, you know, sadly passed recently.
Yeah.
So I was rather lucky because, believe it or not, I went to some other clubs because I played for a football team called FC Yarnt, and they were based in Thamesmead, and our manager was a great friend of mine, and we used to play trials against professional clubs, which was a better way of actually going to have a trial on all the elements of trial, intensity, nervousness. We used to play against all these pro clubs and we used to do really well. Anyway, that said, we played games against Tottenham and Chelsea, said I weren't good enough, got enough. And then Plumstead, I was playing a game, this Charlton scout come up to me, believe it or not, it was a wonderful, wonderful man called Roy Passy.
I know Roy.
Roy's a wonderful
him.
man.
I remember him.
And I was then a winger. Now you know.
Were you?
Yeah, believe it or not, for my sins, I was
Not an inverted winger back then.
No,
just a right winger.
don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Mate.
yeah.
Couldn't spell inverted. Come on, Scott. It didn't exist. So I should just get it head down, you know. And so I good feet, fairly quick, because I was a good athlete at school. And he says, Paul, listen, it would be great for you to come down. So I came down and then met Les Gore, the Silver Fox. He was a wonderful man, Les Gore, because he really was the one. You had Jim Fibbins, Les Gore.
Jim found me.
He claims he founded Paul Walsh, claims he found me, claims he found everybody. But that's how so I come down here, and then within about 2 games I played him as a winger. Roy Passy just called me into the dressing room then, which was to where the main reception was. He says, Paul, you're not going to make it here as a winger, but I tell you what, I think you could do a job as a centre half. I says, really? Well, he says, look at you, you're physically, he says, you're strong, you're a good athlete, you're comfortable with the ball. He says, you're brave. He says, I'm going to try you there in the South East Counties game.
Yeah.
So then, Scott, can't remember the game, South East Counties, went there, then the rest is history. That was when I was 14, signed schoolboy forms, in the reserves then at 15, 16, approaching just after my 16th birthday, left school, come here as a scholarship, then it was an apprentice, straight in the first team. So it was a rise that was just literally, once I discovered myself as a centre-back, and I think it was quite unusual then, because, you know, a lot of centre-backs were fairly dominant, could attack the ball, but I was a reasonable, good athlete, could play with the ball, could defend, and was brave. So to Roy's credit, he just joined the dots instantly, and he says to me, Paul, this is your position, you could have a career for 15 years in football.
And you certainly did that as well. So you progressed quickly into the first team.
Yeah.
How did the move to Chelsea come about?
Well, you know, I went from Luton, I went from Charlton to Luton, Aston Villa, Pisa in Italy, Celtic, Chelsea. I was at Celtic. We played in, I remember it was a League Cup final against Rangers. I knew Ken Bates was interested in buying me. They had John McLaughlin and Colin Bates were the two centre-backs. And he says, Paul, you can give us something different. And he turned up at the Rangers game in the final. It was at Hampden Park. I was lucky, I had a good day at the office. We won 1-0. Sorry, we got beat. And I won the player of the match, player of the tournament, And then Batesy walks up to me, in this Ken being Ken, this room full of people. So he says, hey, you going to join me at Chelsea then? I says, pardon? He says, then you want to come to Chelsea? I says, well, I'm a Celtic player. And I'm not going to say what he said about something Celtic, but you're going to be a Chelsea player. And he says, where are you going tonight? I says, I'm going out for a drink after game. He says, meet me at this nightclub, it's called Victoria's. Now, Scott, I knew this club very well. I mean, literally, during my time there socially, it was like a second home. I mean, I was disappointed it didn't have a blue plaque. Or I
didn't have a gold card or
Correct,
something.
exactly. So Batesy turns up there, calling the old man, as we've done, and he's there, and he says, are you going to go and buy some champagne? And I said, okay. So he's bought the champagne, and he says, listen, I want you to come, I want you to be our leader. We've had our issues with race. It was quite open, very transparent, but he says, listen, we're going to be a Premier League club. I want you to lead our club, I'm thinking, how could I say no after that? So,
especially when he's plied you with bottles of champagne.
Absolutely, and he's paid for it.
He's a clever man.
The old man. So Scott, then that was around about sort of February, March, and then the summer came. He had done the deal with the club. You know, it was right for all parties. And then I was on my merry way to Stamford Bridge.
Okay, so just 2 more questions then. Tell us, what would you say your highlight of being at Chelsea was at that particular time?
I think, number one, as we know, and I have to be candid and open because it's a big part of the work that I do, Chelsea, as we know, had a historical behaviour around anti-discrimination and racism. I mean, I remember there as a 17-year-old kid playing for Charlton, when I talked about playing there before, receiving the most vicious abuse. So I think Ken was brave. He was brave in wanting me to go there. And, you know, I think 2 things for me. He made me Chelsea's first black captain, which, given the historical issues and challenges, Scott, that was hugely significant at the time, because you know what society looked like then, what the terraces looked like then, and I think also being the Premier League's first black captain. That happened in the same year because the Premier League was formed, and then, you know, there was a big, real seismic shift in football, on the field, off the field. What obviously the Sky TV and the investment meant was really the start and the catalyst of everything over the last 25, 30 years. So because that work is hugely significant to me, hugely important to me in my roles, not just at Charlton and the board and vice chair, but also with the FA and UEFA, that has dominated my life throughout my life as a human being, as a player, and then post-career as a, you know, we talk about game changers on the field. I tried to be a game changer off the field, working in high-level environments, political environments, you know, trying to shift the narrative and make the game more accessible, more equitable, more fairer, not just for people that look like me, but for women, you know, for people from LGBTQIA background, people with disabilities. So it's the whole broader element of inclusion.
Yeah. Absolutely. Actually, I want to make this as part of the penultimate question, because, I mean, your highlight of Charlton as a player.
Cool, my dear. My highlight of a player, believe it or not, was I played in the team when they bought Alan Simonson. I was a young kid, 17-year-old Elliot, a whippersnapper. And I remember Mark Holyer at the time says, "We've got one hell of a son." And I'm thinking, who's that going to be? And it was Alan Simonson. He just won the European Player of the Year. I mean, Scott, I mean, he must have come up to my waist. But what a talent.
Was he?
What a guy. And I remember then, you know, we had there was a friendly match, believe it or not. I remember it was against Millwall. And he'd come and he's wore then the moulded boots. I think they were like a pair of Adidas 2000s, you know, top level moulded boots. He's come on, the pitch was like a park pitch. It was cut everywhere. And you just saw his first touch, his exquisite skill. I mean, he had eyes at the back of his head. And you just look, I mean, he could, it was just frightening. You know, that's when I actually realised how somebody made the game look so easy. Yeah. Everybody's tearing around. I mean, the way he received the ball, back foot, half turn, played away, phases, goes, dropped his shoulder, receives it, creates a yardage of space, makes these killer passes that you could only dream of. So I'm thinking, wow. Other than my debut, of course, which meant so much to me, being in the first team, because the difference, I think, with all the clubs I've played, and I've played at some big clubs, I have love for this club, love of nostalgia, growing up here, friends here, family here, in-laws here, going to school here, friends still living at Plumstead, Woolwich, Thamesmead, Abbeywood, Charlton, and I think, and me actually authentically supporting the club as an 8-year-old kid and seeing everything that went on at the football club, and then coming back, you know, one of the co-founders of the Community Trust and leading all that work, and then coming back with our excellent partners, GFP, and a great man in Gavin Carter, my chairman, and a very good board, and being part of that next chapter to evolve and take the club forward. So that puts me in such great communication and engagement, you know, with all our fans, and many of them are so relatable for me, Scott, because we're all of the same age profile. Do you see what I mean? The heartbeat of our supporters, notwithstanding the fact we're attracting our next Gen Z of supporters. So it's all of those elements that really separate Charlton from any other club that I've played for.
So final question then, and bringing it back round to Saturday, it will be, we're being told, the highest attendance in 50 years at the Valley. Just talk to us about that sense of occasion that is just coming up.
It's going to be massive, unequivocally massive, for the fans, for the players, for the local community, for our local diverse communities, for everybody relating to Charlton Athletic, and also a lot of neutrals. People underestimate the amount of supporters from other clubs that love Charlton Athletic because its values and what's embedded in its DNA. It's a sense of belonging to bring everybody together under lights, 8 o'clock kickoff, South London, the FA Cup, the biggest tournament, the biggest cup competition in the world. I'd love to be a player again, but I'm honoured and privileged to be here to watch it.
And I'm honoured and privileged to be working on it for TalkSport.
Absolutely, there you go.
I'm looking forward to that one completely. Paul,
My
as
man.
ever, top man.
Stay blessed.
See you Saturday.
Nice one.